Welcome back, Lenz. Comic Corner, classic slash non-classic. This is episode number 925. No, 21. Excuse me, 21. And Doubleshot number 815. I have one Marvel trade, one DC trade. Okay. First up, it is Batman Nightfall Volume 2. Yeah, this pretty much wraps up the first part of the Nightfall saga. This collects Batman 498 to 500, Detective Comics 664 to 666, Showcase 93 issues 77 issue 7 through 8, and Batman Shadow of the Bat issues 16 to 18. Yeah. Now there are a few different writers for these issues. You have Chuck Dixon, Doug Moak, and Alan Grant. Alan Grant writes Shadow of the Bat, Doug Moak does Batman, and Chuck Dixon does Detective Comics. Doug Moak also does the Showcase issues. The artwork in here is done by Graham Nolan, Claus Johnson, the late Jim Aparo, and Brett Reliefs. Yep. The cover art here is done by Kelly Jones and Alan Pasique. Yep. Oh yeah, this is basically the start of the next portion of the Nightfall saga, Night Quest: The Crusade. Yeah, that's pretty much what this is. It wraps up. Yeah, it has a feeling to that of Funeral for a Friend, you know, dealing with the aftermath right after the ending of the previous part where Bane breaks Batman's back, though in the case of Superman, it's very similar to that with Death of Superman, of course, people deal with the aftermath of it. Yeah, and of course, Robin, of course, trying to struggle, like who get the point to be take over as Batman. They point Azrael. Of course, they also deal with the fact that Bruce Wayne's back is broken. And I'm kind of glad they went with a realistic approach to have him heal, because the DC universe is known for using mystics a lot. Probably solve a lot of problems. But I'm kind of glad the fact that the writers of this event don't use that, because that would not be plausible to have him just have contact, let's say, Santana, and give him just a healing potion, bam, he's better. It's better to do it this way. This is very realistic on how to heal him. I mean, they contact a physical therapist, they give him a special drug that actually can help him, which I'm sure this drug can actually help in real life. I mean, come on, Batman's spine is his back is broken, he barely can move. And they contact somebody who actually did help Tim Drake's father, Sandra, I don't remember her last name. She later on during this event forms a brief relationship with Bruce Wayne during the course of his recovery. And of course, Azrael, basically, John Paul Valley, takes over as Batman, but he has orders not to go after Bane. He goes after Bane by the end of these issues. Yeah, and those who are curious about the Shadow of the Bat issues, they're not technically part of the main portion of the Nightfall story. They're tie-in to it, yes, but they're not part of. They don't have the numbering for some reason. Yeah, it's just a three-parter called The God of Fear, which has John Paul Valley Batman take on the Scarecrow for the first time. Yep, and it's a three-parter. Whereas Brian Sifley says the covers for the issues, really good, by the way. Yeah, though I've actually kind of covered these issues already, thanks to reviewing Batman Shadow Bat Volume 2. Yes. Yeah, eventually John Pavelli does take on Bane, and he beats the living pulp out of him. Like, he beats him to a bloody pulp. Yeah, this is how Bane looks after he's defeated by John Paul Valley. And of course, John Valley is basically experimenting, adding new stuff to the bat suit, getting his special gauntlet gloves, which that will become part of his main suit. Oh yeah, and I spoke to Chuck Dixon about the Azrael suit that he wears in here, and the suit itself was designed by the late Jim Aparo, because the original Azrael costume was designed by Joe Quesada. You know, the guy who retconned Spider-Man's marriage, like 12 years ago. Yeah, this is, of course, well before he did that stupid retcon. Because Jim Power actually designed the Trot costume. I don't know who designed this costume. Let's see, I had to look it up on here. Let's see, probably the artist issue, because Jim Power designed the black costume he wore for a few years. This is done by, let's see. Yeah, it's done by Jim Aparo. Yeah, Jim Aparo designs his new costume for Batman 500. Yep. And plus, like Superman, yeah, throughout Nightfall, if anyone reads these older issues, they notice in these covers, you have these numbers here in the corner. Yes. The Superman comics are also known for this as well. But for Batman, they only do it just for this major event. They didn't do it for any other comic aside from this. Yeah. But this, of course, is really good. I'm giving this book roughly a 9.5. I think it's really, really good. Though I think the Killer Jones interpretation of Bane is like good physique. His mask is so weird. It's not like the way Graham Nolan designed the costume, designed the mask. But this is still really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's roughly about 6 other books up. There is the 2 volumes of Nightfall: The Quest, Night Quest: The Crusade, Night Quest: The Search, Night's End, Prodigal, and Traka. Alright. Next up is Venom, First Host, collecting the 5-issue miniseries written by Mike Costa, who was the writer of Venom before recently. He was the previous writer of the book before Danny Costa took over the book, and Mark Bagley, who was the previous artist in the book, who actually became the artist of the book with issue. I believe he took over as artist issue with 150 of the series. Yeah, this was set up toward the end of Mike Costa's run, and it still has this really disgusting thing that Mike Costa thought was okay, where he wrote it in the book, where it was very heavily implied that Eddie Brock and the Venom symbiote were in a sexual relationship. I mean, really, was this okay to do? I've never heard anybody complain about this at all, but in my opinion, this was a stupid idea. Lucky enough, Danny Coates basically got rid of that stupid premise of the implied thing that Eddie Brock is doing it with a piece of goo. It's disgusting. Oh yeah, and apparently the Venom symbiote was pregnant. Yeah, but this is the second spawn of the Venom symbiote. The first one was Carnage. Yep. The whole thing with the first host is that this is actually a retcon, where there was a host before Spider-Man, and his suit looked like this. Yeah, the thing about, they actually explain who this guy is really well in this miniseries. He's a Kree named Keltar, who was later convicted of war crimes. He was also undercover agent with the Skrulls during the Kree Skrull, which they mentioned in here, to have it back in Avengers 89-97. This, of course, is the original volume for the series when it was published back, when these numbers issues were back in the 70s. Yeah, and of course the present day stuff will follow up what happened toward the end of Mike Costa's run. So like the whole thing of this new baby thing. Yeah, I still kind of think this is disgusting. The whole thing of the implied sexual stuff between the Venom symbiote and Eddie Brock. I don't know if anybody's ever complained about this, but in my opinion, this was an absolute dumb idea to do. And it's still here, but it's only seen briefly at the beginning, and it's a little bit toward the end, but that's it. Yeah. Oh, and the Offspring. Okay. You want to know what the Offspring looks like. Okay. The Offspring is one of the most bizarre... It's interesting looking suit. Yeah. This is what the suit looks like. Yeah, this is what the symbiote looks like. Yeah, it's green stuff with black. Yeah. And there's at one point where where they actually team up with a female Skrull. The thing with female Skrulls is they look almost exactly alike. I mean, the way this character looks, look almost very similar to the female Skrull from the Venom Space Knight series, one who was training Flash Thompson. Yeah, they actually mentioned Flash Thompson here, which I do appreciate Mike Costa for doing that. Yeah. And of course, he takes him on. They go to space. Of course, this guy does kidnap the Venom symbiote, trying to make him a slave because apparently he has enhancements. And then the guy is defeated by the very end by the spawn of the Venom symbiote. And of course, somehow it's mixed in with the DNA of Eddie Brock for some reason. Yeah, this is... I'm like, really? Was this necessary? Let's see. What's the symbiote's name? It only appears in one miniseries. As far as I know, it doesn't appear ever again. I think it's Perceptus. I think it is. Yeah, this is what it looks like when it's not Eddie Brock. Yeah, I believe the name of the symbiote is Perseus. Yeah, but after this miniseries, the symbiote itself is never seen again. I don't know if I don't know if any co-hosts want to bring back this particular symbiote at all, because it's been like pretty much like a year since this miniseries was released, and I've seen nothing in the Venom comics basically saying that the symbiote's coming back or not. But aside from the sexual stuff between Eddie Brock and the Venom symbiote, the miniseries is actually really damn good. Plus an appearance by Liz Allen. Yeah, and basically toward the epilogue of this book actually takes place after the events of Amazing Spider-Man 800. Yes, because they mentioned the whole thing of the Venom saving Liz Allen, which they refer to as Harry Osborn's wife, which I know for a fact that's not correct. Because here's the thing. It was retconned after the events of One More Day, during the events of a brand new day, that because of Harry Osborn faking his death, Liz Allen actually filed for divorce, so she's actually Harry Osborn's ex-wife, not his wife. Did Mike Costa get that confused? Yes, because that's another slight problem in this miniseries. Liz Allen herself appears for the first couple issues, and then she disappears and is never seen again in this miniseries. Yeah, also the scientist guy who's actually was a supporting character in Mike Costa's run when he was writing Eddie Brock. Yeah, he appears in here too, but he's dropped after issue 3. And as far as I've heard, I don't think there's any plans to bring him into the current Venom book by Danny Curtis, which of course is really good, by the way. But the story I like in here, but aside from one continuity error in here and the disgusting sexual chemistry between Eddie Brock and the Venom symbiote, it's a really good miniseries. I'm gonna give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. Here's why I don't get 9.5. The sexual stuff between Eddie Brock and the symbiote. Yeah, I'm not sure why in the world. I still do not understand why in the world that Mike Costa was allowed to get away with this for a whole freaking year. Like, why? Here's the thing. If anybody's ever read any comic book featuring Eddie Brock as a Venom symbiote when he was still a Venom symbiote, was there any point where that Eddie Brock referred to the symbiote as his love? As far as I know, any Venom miniseries I've read never said that at all. As a matter of fact, Danny Curtis basically fixed that and referred to as his friend, because they're just friends. There's no sexual chemistry between these two at all. It's goo! Why the heck did Mike Costa think it was a good idea? I'm so glad that they got rid of that stupid thing. Alright, so that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for our next review, which is a review of the newest chapter of One Piece. Yep, but this next review. Bye.